Awfully quiet this morning. Oh, hello, James.
Hi, good morning, Toby. Sorry to bother you, but can I ask you something?
Of course.
Do you think you could switch jobs with me, just for this run? You can pull my coaches, and I'll take your trucks to the quarry.
Well, I don't know. We'd have to check with our drivers first. I'm not used to mainline runs, but it's been a while since I've gotten the chance.
Great.
So the engines talked with their drivers and waited while they went to alert the signalman. James's plan was working. James made it his mission to keep D261 under his watch for the rest of the day, never taking his eyes off him for more than a few minutes at a time, arranging with many engines and workmen to switch jobs so he always remained one step behind the Diesel. But whilst James kept the Diesel's potential evil plans at the forefront of his mind at all times, a conspiracy was the farthest thing from the narrow gauge engine's topic of conversation that fateful morning.
What are we to do? If the fire keeps coming closer, they may have to evacuate the villagers.
Well, they certainly can't evacuate us. We'll just have to stand our ground and hope it doesn't come closer.
All the forests, creeks, the picnic areas, and little vacation spots I used to take the visitors. What will happen to them? I hope they'll stay safe too.
We can only hope, my old friend.
What I want to know is, what started this all?
I haven't heard anything, so I assume natural conditions. One would think it was lightning, considering all the storms we've been having recently, but I don't remember hearing any thunder last night, did you?
Well...
Thunder! Thunder! And the musical build. Thunder!
No, not at all.
Do you think it could have been caused by something here on the railway? The first reports of it came from over near the wharf. Maybe something malfunctioned over there.
Suddenly, Peter Sam arrived. We explained to him about the situation.
Everything seemed fine on my last train last night.
But not after. I think I know what the problem is.
That coach still has its brakes on.
It's developed a flat wheel!
I knew the train was slower than these last two runs.
Sparks from the wheel must have caused the fire.
Finally, someone without selective hearing around here.
What's that, Mabel?
Never mind.
What's this about a flat wheel?
It's Mabel, sir. We believe sparks from her wheel may have caused the fire.
But how did her wheel get flat in the first place?
Her brakes have been left on. No one bothered to check before coupling her up to the train last night.
But who prepared the train last night?
Ivo Hugh.
I'm sorry, I didn't know the brakes were stuck, I promise.
Are you sure about that? Seems last night you were in a bit of a mood, if I remember.
But...
Now, Ivo Hugh, we're not trying to insinuate anything, but do you think it would be possible that you shunted the coach up like that on purpose?
What? No! And that's exactly what you're doing. If anything, it's the stupid workman's fault for letting the train go off without checking it. I told you about this man, and you're not doing anything.
Alright, I didn't come to the yards today to play Clue. I just got word that a falling tree bridged the gap across the river. The water level's been so low already that because of the heat, the lakeside waterfall completely dried up when it got blocked, allowing the fire easy access to the other side, all the way down the mountain. We now need to start evacuating the people who live there. I'll need all the help I can get, as things can change in the blink of an eye here. We've got some firefighters out there, but it might not be enough. The rest of the fire brigade that isn't needed there is traveling across half the island to get here. In the meantime, we need to start collecting water ourselves. There's only so much they can carry in their tanks. We need to go out and fill up for backup in case they need us.
I'm ready, sir.
Me too.
Me 3.
I'll help with whatever you need.
You can count me in. What kind of bluebell engine would I be if I didn't help to preserve lives myself?
I'm glad you all agree. Once your crew all get here, we can set off.
Sir? What about Ivo Hugh? We can't take him, can we? If we do, he's liable to cause another accident that could worsen our predicament.
Suppose you're right. Best to just stay here, Ivo Hugh. We wouldn't want to throw you into that danger.
But I can help too. I want to help.
We know you do, but for safety reasons I agree with Duke. We don't need another liability on our hands.
It's not you, Ivo.
I'm sorry, Ivo. I think they might be right this time. This is a dangerous business. You better stay here with me, just in case. I'm getting too old for this kind of action. I think they threw my retirement party a bit too early.
Alright.
See you later, Ivo Hugh.
Toot toot! Off we go!
Good luck.
They'll need it.
So this is what he was planning all along. Slowly building up our trust day by day so he and his hedge diesels could construct this threat right under our noses, and we're to dash it all when he unleashes whatever this is on us far too late for me to stop. Well, little does he know I'm onto him. I'll report this to the Fat Controller immediately. Once he finds out what his precious bowler is capable of, there won't be any more children's fairs for him. Okay, now we can go back the way we came.
Might as well take a page out of Peter Sam's book. I spy with my little eye something red.
If by some freak chance an engineer did tell you not to believe your dreams, he'd be right.
Am I really just a knockoff James? Is it really all just an unbreakable cycle? Will people trust Duke over me? What's the point? Yeah, I'll show that manipulative stick in the mud how strong and dangerous I can be. That fire doesn't sound jails with me around. Look out.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Wait. Ivo, come back!
Help, please! No! Okay, I'm there!
Phew, that was hard work.
But nothing we're not used to, eh, chum?
Definitely worth it. As long as we can cut the fire off at this junction and keep it from spreading across, the villages should be safe. This mountain's gonna look pretty bleak after all this. But at least we can keep someone's home from becoming a landfill.
Oh, what did I miss? Oh, looks good.
Well, okay, looks aren't everything. We'll just see if it gets the job done.
Fill me up.
Right away, Ivo.
Oh, great. An audience.
Ivo, what are you doing out here? It's dangerous. You should go back to the yard where you can't cause any more trouble.
I'm not causing trouble anymore, Duke. I'm stopping it. Right here, right now.
With what, a ferocious puff of steam?
You don't get it, do you? This fire needs to be put out. Right now. You heard what Mr. Hughes said. They need all the help they can get right now. I'm help. What's more is I'm good help. It's hard to find that around here. But I'm not doing this for you.
No, I don't get it, Ivo. Maybe it's because of my age, but I don't understand why you're so determined to prove us wrong, and I don't understand what possessed you to start the fire in the first place.
I didn't start the fire.
Yeah, it was always burning since the world's been turning, or so I've heard.
Well, someone did.
I'm not going to apologize for whatever you think I did, or for whatever preconceived mold of perfect youngster you have that I don't happen to fit into. I already told you I'm not doing this for you, so why should I have to play by your rules? Why would I when you're the one who ruined my chances to get out?
What? Now maybe you didn't do it, but that's still no excuse for your behavior. Would a normal engine shunt a coach so hard she gets a flat wheel? You're just getting worse, Ivo. I keep trying, but nothing seems to be getting through.
Yeah, you might not be getting through, but I'm pretty sure that fire is.
Ivo, we need to leave this area now.
Well, you know what I don't need? You telling me that. I don't need or want any crummy little thing from you, trust me.
Uh-oh. Something is coming, guys, but I don't think... Wait! Isn't that the title of that song from West Side Story?
Did you see that? I can't believe...
Let's go.
You're not even gonna look back, are you?
Oh, ouch! Not my paintwork.
James?
Oh, yeah, that's me. Oh.
You've been following me all day, haven't you?
Oh no, it's just that, it's really funny. We've had pretty similar timetables today, it's a big coincidence, very, very strange, but, all the same, glad to have you in my, company.
Don't play dumb with me, James. Tell me the truth. You've been spreading lies about me, haven't you? Rumors that I was plotting to take over. Is that correct?
From what I've seen so far today, they're far from lies. Most likely understatements. I saw what you're planning. What with that huge structure under construction over the coast? You're conspiring with other diesels to take over the island and rid it of steam. I saw one.
What? James, you don't even know what was going on there.
And I certainly don't want to. I knew it from the moment I first saw you back. You were up to something, and now I have proof.
You don't have proof of anything right now, James, and you certainly won't ever.
Aha! I've even got you admitting it.
James, I haven't admitted anything to you except for how utterly wrong you are. I haven't been planning anything, not at all. Surely, I've proved that to you this past week.
Not so fast, you dirty mutt. You may have acted nice, but we both know that's a cover for your plan. You diesels are all evil by design.
By design? We're both locomotives, James. Just because I happen to be your historical replacement doesn't mean I can help it.
Oh no? Okay. Then tell me, why did you invade this island again if you didn't intend to replace? All you diesels want to do is replace steam engines. Get rid of us. I've seen it before. I've seen it today.
You don't even know us.
I know enough.
Oh, really? What do you know?
More than you know about me.
If I did, maybe I could get through to you to finish this.
Okay then. Let's finish this. I once worked on a railway where diesels never existed. I didn't think of them as anything, because I didn't have to think about them at all. Until one day, when I had no choice. Back before then, it was peaceful. We had no threat of being replaced. No, far from it. No, me and my sister were happy. Well, I'm sure she was, I don't know. Never asked. Her name's Julie, and she's perfect. At least in the eyes of the owners. She'd always get to take trains out for our stretches of long, open countryside. Great for publicity. You should have seen the posters. I usually had to shut the yard. Just because I was special, they said that I should stay back. You see, I was always a subject of these new tests. They wanted to improve upon Julie's design by extending her front end because of her super heat, and they did so with me. Being meant to be an improvement over my sister, I took that to heart. Looking forward to whenever they would experiment, hoping that one day they'd find the perfect bundle of assets to put in their grand old pet project, and I would be revealed to the world in a grand public run, finally proving that I could be just as perfect as Julie. But the word project was the operator there. If anything, Julie was their pet project while I was still their workhorse, so to speak. I did love her, really, but needless to say I was a bit jealous. Test after test failed, but when I was relegated to the back of the shed one day, I finally burst out.
If that's what you say, then you are.
Of course, in that time I would learn regal unfairness. After that, Julie and I were still friends, but we weren't as close as we used to be. I stopped caring as much about any of it. Life went back to being regular, and in some stretches boring, till the national news came through.
Under Transport Act, Big Four railway companies merge into National British Rail Services. Well, that's it, boys and girls. Looks like the beginning of a beautiful business.
What does that mean?
Well, I won't be the superintendent's second in command anymore. Come to think of it, he'll be the second in command now. But aside from that, not too much will change.
And not much did, until he arrived. He walked in a suspicious trench coat with an even more suspicious hat. And I don't trust hats. But at the time his looks were more formal than dreadful. Of course, we could never have known what he really wanted. He spoke to the manager, and to the man who was once our superintendent as well. Mr. Brown, they called him. After he left, they told us
he wanted to buy steam engines. Imagine that. Oh, that's a new prospect, eh, Charlie?
Well, he was offering a pretty penny to have an engine come and work for his company. Anyway, it's not up to us anymore. We'll have to pass the offer through to the people at the top. He said he wanted to be informed if any of our engines were ever wore out or were up for sale.
Don't think he'd buy us, do you?
Who knows? If he pays enough, then maybe. We just need engines to work. I doubt our superiors care which ones.
that proposal had us on edge for months. But the memory of that visit came to pass, till it came back again after another year, and we were finally forced to face it. Julie had gotten old. Bearings were worn out from so much use and her couplings were beginning to rust. My situation, on the other hand, hadn't improved either. The experiments got wilder and wilder, but nothing seemed to work. They found a wheel config that they thought could work for a bit, but it left me slightly off balance. Didn't have any money to fix either of us. They'd spent it on purchasing a new type of engine that they'd begun testing in a yard just over the hill from where we were based. Not only that, but me being an experiment and all meant that it was very expensive and time consuming to keep me running. I tried my hardest to do everything I could, just as I always had, to prove my worth to them. Extra work, quicker work, they still made the call. The business aids wouldn't have sold us to the lowest bidder. Oh no, I've been led to believe that we were bought for just as much as we were originally built for. But either way, we were off to some unknown location to work for some unknown company owned by this Mr. Brown guy. We took some time to say goodbye to our previous owners before setting off on the journey ahead.
We'll miss you.
Aye, and we'll miss you too, Julie. And James too, of course.
We'll always remember our time on this railway.
And we'll always remember our once prides of the line.
Best workers we had in a while. Now off you go, you two. We can't make a bad impression on Mr. Brown.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah, have fun without me, if that's even possible.
Goodbye.
I don't know about this Mr. Brown guy. He seems a little suspicious. And who wants to work at a foundry? It's so different from my line back home.
Don't worry, James. Sure, it'll be different. But that'll give us a chance to try something new. Find a new place in the world. A fresh new start.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And hey, Vicarstown is just next to the Sodor border. Maybe we'll get to take trains there from time to time. I'll get to show it to you for the first time.
If only this was the first time you told me about it. Hey, what's the hold up? Hurry up there!
I'm going. Well, right is usually right. Phew, this was the right way.
It was him, staring silently down at us, somewhat mockingly, but I could tell he was ecstatic. It was hard to say what he felt that night, but both parties knew we would be of great help to him. Not that we even had a glimpse of the how yet, but we did our best to keep that look on his face throughout our run. We hoped if we pleased him at our duties, we'd one day maybe get a chance to take out a train outside of the yard, just to escape the hellhole we'd found ourselves trapped in. But as much as we worked, we never seemed to quite get that status with him, until one day, Julie and I had to fetch trucks from a siding on the outskirts of the other railway, as our once home line began to be cold. It was wonderful. Just the earth, the sky, and us. Just how it used to be. Julie, of course, was much more familiar with this feeling, but for me, it was like heaven. You know, until... Oh, what? Wait there! What was that?
Sorry, old boy, but it's your brakes. I thought one of the blocks came loose and it looks like I was right. I have to make sure it's secure. You don't want to be running with broken brakes now, do you?
No, I guess not.
Oh, hello.
Hello, I'm Harry. That there's Bert. How do you do? We're here to tell you that the big man has got a, surprise for you. Oh, yeah, something about a promotion or something.
Oh. Okay.
Finally, some peace and quiet. Looking on my own again. Reminds me of the old days. Julie?
That's right, my friend, it is. And what a fine piece of metal she makes indeed. I think this is some of our best work.
No. This can't be happening.
Looks like it can, Teapot. You're next.
Oh no. I'm not strapped yet!
What? Don't let him get away! You can run, but you can't hide forever.
Help! Help! My brake books are on fire!
Do you think we should help him? I'll take that as a yes. Don't worry,
James.
Oh, don't worry, James. We'll have you and your cars out in a jiffy, I promise.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you,
Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas.
Don't mention it. Let's get you back to the yard. You can stay there while they repair you for a few days. Then maybe you can tell us what brought you to this island in the first place.
So this is the engine I've heard so much about.
Yes, sir. His name's James.
James, is it?
Yes, Mr.
Sir.
Mr. Sir.
Topham Hatt. You can sleep in our goods shed while you're mended and we find who to send you back to, James. As for you, Thomas, I've heard all about it and I'm very proud of you. You're a really useful engine.
Oh!
As reward, you shall have a branch line all to yourself.
Thank you, sir.
Remember where you rescued James? Why not use that one since the coffee pots were taken out of service? Why don't you take a crack at it? You deserve it.
Yes, sir. I will, sir.
That's good, little Thomas. Now, James, where did you come from? You weren't expecting a visit today, especially not such a dramatic one. What railway do you work on?
None. Anymore.
Oh? Surely you must come from somewhere.
I used to work for the other railway. Then I was sold to a company called Brown Enterprises in Vickerstown for scrap. My visit here was more of an escape than anything else, you could say. Please, sir, don't make me go back there. My sister is... well, she told me she visited this island once. That was a sort of a sanctuary for steam. Is that true?
Well, normally it would be, but you've imposed on me quite a bit here, James. I'll have to telephone your owner tomorrow to see if I can arrange a deal.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'd be glad to be one of your engines if you could have me.
Well, don't get too excited. The deal hasn't been made yet. In the meantime, we'll have to fix you up, Get rid of those nasty wooden brakes you had. Get you some proper steel ones instead. Comfortable. And, of course, if I can get through to Mr. Brown, then we'll have to give you a new paint job in the colours of the Northwestern.
Red, please. I've always liked that colour.
Well, I guess red's a Northwestern colour now.
So, from that day, became a Fat Controller's engine. It wasn't really official till the deal went through with Mr. Brown, of course, and he couldn't care less about my survival, just my metal. Now they rebuilt me, gave me new brakes that were actually up to standards, fixed my bogie too. That little issue. Never spoke about my past to the others. I just, strode around the line, proudly flaunting my sister's colours. But, I took them on as my own. I'd found my place. I found friends. Everything seemed perfect. I almost forgot what had happened to me. I even warmed up to the first diesel the Fat Controller brought to the island, But he betrayed me. Manipulated me into hurting one of my real friends, just as Mr. Brown and his diesel's dead. Just as you've manipulated the Fat Controller into thinking I'm a fool. Never again! I should have realised that long before then. Shouldn't have ever let this happen now. There are too many diesels on the island as it is. I should have known you were in cahoots. At least you're so blatantly unsubtle I could crack it. So that's why I hate diesels. Because they murdered my big sister, the object of my envy, the pride of our line. And I guess, my first friend. All you care about is progress. Always improving what came before by wiping out any impurities in the system, any bumps in your plan. Did you ever stop to think that the impurities were beings with feelings, emotions, and friends? Well, if progress is all you want, progress is what you're gonna get. Eliminate all the charm and individuality you must, but did you ever stop to think about what will happen when progress catches up to you? We're all gonna be outdated soon, some of us already are. Next you'll be the one pleading for life. So we're all in this together. You can accept it and try to live out the rest of your time with the rest of us in peace and harmony, or you can keep pushing for progress, seeing your doom until every locomotive in the world is being scavenged by a possum that I was a youngling.
James, that's not my intention. I don't have anything to do with this.
Oh sure you don't. I would recognise any doomsday plan when I saw... Wait a minute. I recognise you. You're that diesel who sat and watched in the smelting yard as my sister was scrapped. You had a different number, but I recognised that smug grin anywhere once I looked at it closely enough. You can keep on your warpath, whatever your name is, but you can't do that on Sodor. I'm not going to let that happen again. I'll defend this until I'm dead, and I'll start by doing to you what I should have done decades ago. What I wanted to do to those diesels the day they scrapped my sister, and every day after, what I didn't have the metal to do then, I'll do now.
You only know half of it, Five. I was as cocky as you once. Of course, I had a reason to. Being called the greatest engine ever designed on a daily basis can do that to an engine. My designer, of course, you know as the one and only Mr. Brown. He would go on to design many different diesel locomotives over the years, but I was his first pet project at a time when diesels were merely a glimmer of an idea. He was passionate about engineering and design. He wanted to experiment with this faster and cheaper type of engine that Rudolf Diesel had developed years ago that never really got off the ground. I was his chance. Every day was the same. In the daytime, they would test me, while Mr. Brown looked on and gave me secondhand compliments. Really, he was complimenting himself, but I was too naive to know that then. At night, he would stay up till the dawn in his office, feverishly drawing out blueprints for the next piece he would install in me. Of course, you could never really tell what time of day it was inside the factory, with its dark corridors and haunting red glow all 24 hours. On top of that, he had to keep a successful foundry running. But he would always make time to visit me, no matter how busy he was. But his conversations were brief, and with each one came news that delayed my first run even longer. More parts were ordered from overseas, new mechanics hired to help me, before being fired within the day. But perfection takes time, he told me, and if he thought of me as perfect, then I didn't mind waiting an extra week or two to show the rest of the world my perfectness. But weeks turned into months, and months turned into years. He drifted away from me for a bit, trying another type of diesel that proved to be more successful. But as the quantity of his creations increased, so did the quantity of resources needed to build them. He had spent most of his finances on parts for me, so to obtain the metal he needed to produce and sell more diesels, he resorted to asking local railroad companies to let him know when a steam engine of theirs was due to be withdrawn. The day they cut up your sister surprised me. I had never seen something that looked to be so cruel until then, so naturally I asked about it. I soon found out I was mistaken. Steam engines were old, faulty, and useless. It was a waste of time, money, and emotion to try to keep running them when they could be remade and reborn better, as diesels. Crueler to keep them alive, he said. And seeing the results of this practice with my new brothers and how they'd light up my owner's face every time a new one was finished, automatically denounced any doubt in my mind that this was the right thing to do. Scrapping steam engines in order to make diesels was a necessary, if tiring, step in moving forward technology to create a better future for everyone. Out with the old, in with the new. It became clear to me, as Mr. Brown slaved away, day after day, desperately trying to get his business off the ground, that these inefficient, polluting machines were the last thing in the way of the grand diesel revolution that had been foretold by Mr. Brown once every evening. I used to long for steam's extermination, so that this process could soon be over, so that my owner was finally given the same respect as the great steam designers of the past, for nothing but the small chance that maybe, at last, I would get a chance to work out in the sun. My time was coming, he reassured me. Soon everyone would use his diesels, he said, finally recognize their superiority and power, and of course, his genius. And I, he said, would be the flagship to this revolution. Of course, it went to my head that he considered me the most important of any of his diesels, despite his having built over 100 by that time. But can you blame me? He came back to me again and again, wishing to perfect me to the best of his ability, before he made his attempt to step into the history books forever. He spent about a decade doing just that, re-enhancing my design, paint job, and even my number to match his job organization system. Then one day, our opportunity came. The nearby railway's controller had rented me for a trial period. If this went well, then I would be purchased along with many of the other diesels from my factory, and soon the whole world would know the name H.P. Brown. This was it. This was my chance. I was going to revolutionize the whole world with a simple run. But of course, a bowler hat changed all of that. I failed. In front of all of them, the inferior locomotives, the inspector, and the man who the entire plan rested on. As his engines got their moment of glory, I sulked home. But I hadn't changed as far as I was concerned. Diesels were still superior. I was still the miracle of engineering I had once been, and I was confident I could find some solace in the man that built me. But I was wrong. When I arrived back home, I expected a grand welcome, a participation trophy for my valiant efforts in the cause for progress. Instead, I got nothing but an angry and disappointed owner, who couldn't understand how I could have possibly failed so much. He attributed it to a flaw in my air intake system, but try as he might, he couldn't figure out how to fix the problem that had given birth to my new and permanent nickname. It was too time-consuming and costly to continue with something that had cost him his biggest chance of success. I had become the same obstruction in his way that steam engines always were. I was a disappointment in every sense, and a costly one at that. In a fit of rage one night, he sold the blueprints of my design off to another manufacturing company. He figured if they were willing to pay for a failed design, they could deal with their problems themselves. But to rub salt in the wound, they found out how to correct the fault, producing hundreds of successful versions of me that soon spread across the country. And Mr. Brown's name was nowhere near them. It didn't matter now. He had moved away from smelly old bowler to his next pet project in line. Once I had failed to work out for him, I became just another replaceable drone in his endless army of lackeys. Mr. Brown did not care for me anymore, and he made it painfully clear with every strike of every hammer on every piece of metal, every pencil that he put to paper to work on a project that wasn't me. My only friend had never cared for me at all. I was just a number to him now, nothing more. I had lied to myself, just like the steam locomotives I once wanted to terminate. my time had come and went. So yes, James, I do know what it's like to have everything important taken away from you.
Oh, do you? How? How can you say that? You didn't even know her!
Neither did you, from what it sounds like.
I guess you're right. I spent more time dismissing her than actually getting to know her. That haunts me. I wish I had. Every day, I do. I wish I could have said something about back then. Maybe I could have. If it weren't for you and your owner.
We should be safe here for now.
Safe? Nowhere's safe with you around.
What are you talking about? I could say the same thing about you.
Duke, I've had just about enough of your attitude. You're pushing me over the line, buddy.
What cheek to say such things to me, Ivo. It's simply not done.
See, that's exactly what I'm always talking about. You know, you always act like you're better than everyone else simply because you're older or wiser or have some immunity to feelings or something like that.
Because I am. At least compared to you. In my heyday, things were different. Engines had common sense. That seems to be the furthest thing from anything you've ever wanted to possess. I keep trying with you, Ivo, I really do. But there's no point in reasoning with you if you're not going to take any of my advice.
Your advice? All your advice is just invalidation to everyone. I mean, you probably raised most of the others to be just like you and just go along with it. You know, Duncan, Peter Sam, Sir Handel, they probably all had dreams of their own before you crushed them, because that seems like that's all you want to do with youngsters. You want to squash the dreams of little engines who can do big things, for the record, and for the life of me, I can't seem to understand why you're so intent on doing that.
What? That was never my intention. All I've wanted to do is help you gain a little logic that seems to be absent from your smoke box. You blow everything out of proportion, as always.
Please!
It's impossible to avoid this happening again. I may not have acted in the best way, but the least you could do is admit your faults, and you won't. As for the others...
What? How is it even possible for me to exaggerate the effects you've had on me? That's not something you could just make up. It's despicable.
Ever since you arrived, the Skarloey Railway has seen nothing but accidents, misunderstandings, and destruction. This railway would have been so much safer if you had never been built. You've been the problem, not me.
You think I hate this railway? I don't. I never wanted this to happen. I just hate what it stands for to you and the game you've made it into that you'll keep playing forever if you continue like this. Well, I'm not playing anymore. Have fun playing solitaire with your insecurities, Dookie.
Dookie? That's a name I haven't heard for a long time.
But I'm not him, James. I'm only me. You and I are not that different, you know. We both had that one big horrible thing happen in our lives. The difference is that it changed me enough to make me want to change myself. All it's done for you is give you an excuse to keep acting the same way you did beforehand.
Why did you come back? There has to be a logical reason somewhere.
Don't you get it, James? He didn't want me anymore. He didn't care. I was just another diesel he could rent off for cheap. A piece of metal. Just like you were to him. But I don't feel like that now. I finally feel like I'm in a place where I'm appreciated. I didn't brainwash your fat controller.
So top Matt to you.
I talked to him like you did. He doesn't see me as just a machine, and neither do the other engines. Except you, James. I've tried and I've tried to apologize for my behaviors in the past, but you remained as stubborn as ever. I'm not plotting some big takeover of your island, James. I've been helping them build a new aquarium, for crying out loud. Everything I'm doing to make up for what happened before. I guess that does make our goals the same, but I'm doing it because I want to, not because I think I have to. Everything I used to believe would have led me anywhere but here. For the first time in my life, I'm listening to myself. You said it yourself, we're all going extinct. Even diesels. Might as well use the time I've got left to live for who I am instead of who I was meant to be.
Hey, Dookie. Who worries about a few spills?
You'd better mind.
Hey, Dookie. Hey, Dookie. Who worries about a few spills? Hey, Dookie. Hey, Dookie. Who worries about a few spills? Bada bing, bada boom, got any? Hey, Dookie. Who worries about a few spills? Hey, Dookie. Hey, Dookie. Who worries about a few
Duke told us we're going to make you useful at last.
You didn't have to fight, Dookie. You weren't going anywhere.
You didn't have to fight, Duke.
You weren't going anywhere.
You didn't have to
You didn't
fight,
have to
Duke.
fight,
You
Duke.
weren't going
You weren't going anywhere.
You weren't going anywhere.
Engines coming, Grandpa goes on forever.
Engines coming,
Engines coming, engines go. Grandpa goes on forever.
Engines
You still don't have to fight.
They didn't understand, Duke.
You're dangerous to wildlife. You're dangerous to yourself. You helped them.
You helped them.
You
helped them. Everyone is safe.
You don't have to fight.
You want
You
what you
helped
want.
them. You helped them.
You won't
Everyone is safe now.
come.
You won't have to fight, Duke. You got what you wanted. Engines come, engines go. Grandpa is gone forever. Engines come, engines go. You're not going anywhere, Duke. You won.
Colby was right.
You're right. I can't claim to know you. I'm sorry. I barely know myself anymore, but I won't let you take away what I have left.
No. I won't. I apologize, Ivo Hugh. I realize now that I've been going about it all wrong. You're a fine engine, and there's nothing wrong with your aspirations. You just need to be guided, not intimidated. I understand that now.
I can't change my past, and neither can you. But I'm not trying to. Just my present. I'm not responsible for others' failures or actions. Just my own. I'm sorry I let your sister die, James. I am so sorry. That's all we have in the end, and we have to live with it. Ourselves, our history, our growth, our now. You said you were always looking to find your purpose, your place. And you have. It's here, on the island of Sodor, with all your friends. And you know, I was searching for the same thing. Because I'm not the same engine I used to be. My old purpose doesn't exist anymore. I need a new home, James. And I think I found it in the same place you have.
I'm sorry for all the trouble I've caused. I suppose even though you did get us into this mess, your actions have been no worse than mine ever were.
Jolie wouldn't have wanted this. I was fighting it for her for so long and never realised that she...
Listen, disagreements aside for a split second, you may not be able to believe me yet, and I don't think I can blame you, but I think you can believe that. Look.
Duke, I'm sorry this all happened. I really am, but I just can't seem to understand why you thought that what you said to me was a good idea in the first place.
Well, none of that matters now with what we've gotten into.
Right, well, if you actually stop blocking the track, we might have a chance of getting out of here before the bridge collapses.
Ah, you just stole him.
Really?
What are you doing?
Fighting for my place. In life, that is.
No.
Backward. What's going on? Oh, I see.
Where have you two been?
Whew, long story.
When we get to that juncture, I'll let him tell it.
Ah! It's over here too! But there's a fire in the bush! Ah! Spread over here, spread... Oh.
James? What are you doing here? And with D261?
Alright, now I'm trying to breathe.
Well, that was a waste.
That's alright, Steppers, he's fine. Trust me. It's a long story, really. I'll let him tell it. Never going through that again, mate. Oh. It's no use. We need to evacuate before it's too late. Can't you all use the water in your tanks?
We can't use any more up if we want to get out of this with our buffers unsinged.
I mean, it should be nothing for an engine with as many close calls as you, eh, Stepney?
Of course.
What about you, James?
Oh, I think I've used all I could spare trailing you 261. How funny about that.
Looks like we'll have to follow his instructions then. We've called the fire brigade, but they won't reach us in time at the rate this shed's burning. Last I heard, they got delayed by a detour around an accident between a shunter hauling fruit and an express engine on the branch line.
That was also my fault, just a little bit. Sorry about that, folks.
There has to be some reserve somewhere close we haven't thought of yet. At least enough to hold on for a couple more minutes. Wait a second, I think I...
Shh, Ivo. We know what the problem is. We're trying to...
Let him speak.
I know where there's some water we can use. 5 minutes there and back as the train whistles. James? Looks like you were, wrong. Those aquarium cars will be of some use after all.
I can barely see which way to go in all this smoke.
Well, the right looks a bit less smoky, so we could go that way.
Wait, James, look! It's the chimney at the works. Croven's Gate is just over the hill.
Yeah, but that way's closer to the fire. We could just go around, you know.
It's closer to what we need, too. Let's go.
But the soot.
Stay behind if you want, then. I've got friends that need me.
Oh, fine. Oh.
Whatever are those things? They're the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life. Hardly practical.
Right, well, let's hope you're wrong. Quickly, everyone. I need a crew who can move one of these sea creatures. Is anyone here trained in that? We gotta hook a pump up to one of these tanks.
Do octopi and sharks get along with each other?
Well, if they don't, they'll certainly have to.
It's working!
Let's not celebrate yet.
Would now be more appropriate.
Edward!
No time to catch up. Let's get to work.
Soon, the fire brigade was able to stop the fire from crossing the yard, ensuring both railways' safety. Engines and firefighters alike helped to contain the fire, in addition to helping clear out the forest so new growth and rebuilding could start fresh. After the last embers of fire had been extinguished, the Fat Controller called us all together at Croven's Gate to celebrate our hard work. All the engines were praised for their acts of bravery fighting the fire. Ivo was praised for his rescue of Duke, but still got a scolding from Topham about his previous behavior that had led to Duke even needing to be saved in the first place. Even Percy got an Honorable Helper badge, despite technically being an honorable hindrance. That day, engines of both gauges felt proud to be serving their respective railways, and to have a home on Sodor. One engine, however, was without a home.
Enjoying the festivities there, bud?
Oh, I'm doing alright, as well as one can be, I suppose.
Are you okay, D261? You seem a bit down.
Oh, it's nothing, Percy. I just... this is wonderful, and I haven't felt this way in a long time. I guess I just don't know... if I'm going to get to again. End of the summer, you know?
Are you... Shh! Quiet, everyone! In fact, Sir Top Mat's got some news he'd like to share.
Well, it's settled. The deal went through.
What's going on?
Well, you see, D261, James told me all about your bravery in the forest, and for saving him, we thought you deserved something special.
Yes, sir?
He also told me a bit about your past, too, about that awful Mr. Brown character. Well, this isn't the first time I've signed an agreement with him, and it may not be the last. You've got a real home now, 261. At least part-time.
What?
I've split the purchasing cost of you with British Railways. You're half a Northwestern engine now. For the busy seasons, you'll work here, and on the off ones, you'll help run a little line up by York.
Oh, thank you, sir. You don't know how much this means to me.
Oh, I can imagine. I guess Sodor ended up being a sanctuary for more than just steam engines after all.
Sir, you know, now that 261's working with us now, don't you think we should give him a name? Or rather, don't you think he should give himself a name?
How about, Chance?
Chance, I suppose it is, then. I don't mind it at all.
I don't either. Thank you, James.
Don't mention it. Oi, what are you looking at? Don't you got someplace to fly? I guess that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Don't have to be in one place all the time, do you? That's alright. I've got everything under control here. Hey kid, looks like we're two of the same breed after all. Yeah, good work out there.
Yeah, I guess.
Hey, Ivo!
Yeah?
We wanted to say something to you.
Alright.
What's that about?
Oh, they probably want to talk to me about my behavior this week. Again.
Oh, well, I'm sure you'll spit it right back in their face, especially after all the trouble they caused you, won't you?
I guess.
Hey.
Talk to you later, James.
Ivo,
Yes?
We wanted to apologize for the way we treated you, like a broken machine to be fixed.
We're just not used to, dealing with youngsters like you. It's really been a while for us, and we never really thought about our railway the way you did.
And thanks to you, I now know the way I was thinking about it wasn't really helping me in the first place.
You behaved recklessly, but it's very understandable given what we unintentionally put you through. And I know everyone here just wants to say sorry for any bad impression or behavior we gave off. We just want you to feel welcome here, Ivo Hugh. Our knowledge of what here is very limited, though. So we thank you for, showing us a side to the Skarloey we hadn't seen before. I hope you can understand us with that, at least.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what you were trying to do. I may not agree with the way you went about it, but thank you truly for what you said about me. And I'm sorry for what I said about the Skarloey. It really is beautiful here, and I'm so sorry I almost destroyed it all in all, this. That's definitely something to work on. You don't have to forgive me if you don't want to either. I understand.
We forgive you, Ivo.
We've all got room to grow. Now get back out there and enjoy the celebration.
Thanks, Grandpuff.
Well then, Ivo, do you give them crotchety little teapots what for?
No.
Hey? Well, alright then. Each their own, I guess. Oh well. I'll never understand you sometimes, kid.
That's okay. You don't need to. Hey, bet you I can get to that truck before you can.
You go ahead.
Will do, Grandpuff.
Having fun, I see.
As always.
As much as one can have.
It's nice seeing you two patch things up. I'm glad you were able to get through to him, Duke.
Actually, he got through to me, more like.
Congrats. I wish I could say the same. Gotten the chance to patch up things with, you know. Feeling even more guilty now, seeing this.
You shouldn't. He made that choice for himself, not you.
Thank you. Ivo?
Hey, buckle up back there. You ready to go home, Caldy?
As I'll ever be. I can't wait to see everyone again.
Chance, I thought you had left already.
Well, Sir Topham Hatt wanted me to do one last job.
And what are all you doing here?
Why, we're here to see our dear Chance off.
Oh, goodbye, Chance. Hope to see you again soon.
Oh, well, it's just a few months. Time will probably fly by. You won't even notice I'm gone.
Nonsense. Of course we'll miss you.
As I will all of you.
Make sure to tell everyone on the other railway about Sodor, about how brave the engines here are.
And don't forget yourself. You are truly the bravest diesel engine I've ever met. Smartest too. I want you to know it. You smell really good this time, but don't let that get to your head, big guy. There's always time for change.
I won't.
Just remember that Sodor will always have a home for you. Hell, we'll always have a home for you. Chance. Good luck out there, hey?
Thank you, James. And yep, I will. It's literally in my contract that I've got a home here for every summer. Not the end of the world, but I must admit it'll be boring without you lot around. Goodbye, everyone, and thank you.
Goodbye!
A lot aren't playing the characters you might think they would at first, and some get recast halfway through. You'd certainly have reason to laugh at the casting director at first, but the truth is that we cast ourselves. I guess that's where our worlds differ.
Thank you. It almost feels like we're forgetting something. Oh well.
Finally. Land took long enough. I am so screwed, aren't I?